Hey everyone, Adam here, bringing you the top two of the Bentonville City Championships. Here we have Michael Kendle on the left playing Rayquaza Eelektrik versus Kevin Murphy on the right playing Speed Darkrai. As you can see, Kevin won the flip, played an energy search, searched out for a basic dark, Ultra Balled 2 darks away, so a very strong start from him. He has another dark energy to attach to his Sableye, and he's going to Juniper away a potion, an energy switch, and a third dark energy. So definitely a strong turn from him. He'll be able to junk hunt some of those valuable trainers he got rid of. Kevin's deck basically for week 1 was all about making sure that you get off the turn 2 Night Spear. Didn't really know what the meta was going to be like here. It was a small tournament, figured consistency was the best option, and it definitely helped him out getting into the finals. We've already seen Michael Kendle in the top 4 playing his Rayquaza Eelektrik deck. We've noticed that he really does start with that regular Rayquaza a lot and really has gotten a lot of work out of it. We see that he level balls for a Dynamo, so a very strong start from him as well. He'll need to get a lot of Eelektriks in play, as Darkrai is a very effective counter to Eelektrik, in that the 90 damage from Night Spear knocks out one Eelektrik and the 30 snipes, set up a potential 3-shot on another Eelektrik on the bench, which is also very nice. So Kendle thinks about it for a minute, decides not to go back in with the Ultra Ball he has in his hand, and it looks like he might just pulse right off the bat. So discards a Fire and a Juniper. Not the worst, but definitely not what you wanted to discard in that situation, that Juniper being your top deck. Kevin is going to bench another Darkrai, another Sableye. He's going to manually attach to a Darkrai. He's going to Skyla for a Dark Patch. And if I am correct, that should mean that Kevin should have the Night Spear. He did junk hunt for an energy switch, so he'll be able to accelerate a Dark onto that Darkrai. Right now, with the Dark Patch, he's discarded numerous Dark Energy. I think he has 3 in there already. He'll be able to retreat, and now he plays that Energy Switch, and look at that, a turn 2 Night Spear already. Kevin really did make it look easy with this list. So he's already got 2 KOs set up, so he's in a pretty strong spot, really applying a lot of pressure already in this game. And thankfully Kendle will evolve into an Eelektrik, which will prevent Kevin from taking the 2 KOs. Unless Kevin has a catcher and could bring up the Eelektrik, then he could still two-shot both of them at once. Michael is going to play a Skyla to search out for a trainer card. Kind of hard to tell what you grab out in this situation. There aren't really a lot of things that seem all that appealing. He does have a gold potion in his hand. That could definitely save him a turn. It wouldn't be a bad play at all. He didn't have computer search. I'm not sure if he would have wanted to have played it or not. Gold Potion is definitely an underrated card in this format, and he's going to go ahead and grab it out. So definitely a heads-up play on his part, knowing that you can just basically undo the Night Spear damage you took that previous turn, or at least on your Rayquaza. And kind of buys him a turn there. Kind of surprised he didn't play that card last turn. He's going to attach manually to his Rayquaza. He's going to catch her out of Sableye, so he's going to go for the prize card, hoping maybe he can hit something off of it. And again, he discards a Juniper on that Dragon Pulse. So now he's in a tricky spot. Kevin gets to keep setting up. He didn't take any of Kevin's energy off the board, but Kevin does do him a favor in that he plays an N. And I think Kevin's goal right here should just be to keep putting damage on the board, keep applying pressure. You could play the catcher, but I don't really see the need to right now. Putting the damage on the Rayquaza, it's getting ready to shred, which is definitely a threat to your board. I'd like to see him actually put the 90 on that, just set up that 2-shot for next turn, and actually take 2 KOs hopefully next turn. I'd also like to see maybe some more energy acceleration from Kevin. Another Dark Patch would be nice. He definitely has the Dark in the discard pile. It would just give him a little bit of breathing room, worrying about chaining those Darkrai's. That's really how this deck works, is that you have to chain your Darkrai's, make sure you get them every turn. Okay, so he's going to play out the catcher, which, is still definitely a good play. Take out that Eelektrik. Your opponent won't have Dynamotors on the field for sure, and you can still potentially knock out that Rayquaza next turn. So Kevin goes up and ties the game in prizes. And Michael is going to bench a Dynamo that he got off the end of 5. I think I see an Ultra Ball in his hand. I do. Kind of hard to say what you grab out in this situation. Maybe another Dynamo. You also want to have the energy in order to shred, to try and get some damage on the board. But at the same time, you know that Rayquaza is going to get knocked out. This is really the problem with Rayquaza Eelektrik in this format, is that with Skyla, decks like Kevin's just become so fast. There are just so many that hit so hard so quickly. Things like Landorus as well really just do a number to Rayquaza Eelektrik, and as much as it is the heavy hitter of the format, it definitely feels a lot slower. Starts like this where you just don't seem to have supporters really hurt. The deck needs a high supporter count. It just needs so many things to really function at its maximum. So Kendle is looking at a Dynamo that might not be a bad play. You're obviously going to need to get Electrics out, but you're obviously going to need more than just what's in your hand right now. He's really just banking on some sort of supporter top deck. Because right now, I mean, he's pulsed away 2 Junipers, which really hurt. He's just lost so many resources. And I don't think he has the supporter in this hand right now either. So he's going to Shred. That'll do 90 damage. Set up a nice KO. Kevin is going to retreat, however. Play an energy switch, not wanting to risk those KOs. Try and make it as hard for Kendle to take prizes as he can. Those are extra cards that he gets to draw through. And already we see Kendle's gone through a good amount of his deck. And that'll be a knockout. Kevin takes the lead now and has a lot of pressure on his opponent. Michael does top deck the end, though, which is going to be nice. He's going to get 5 cards. Kevin will get 4. So an end of 4 isn't too bad in this format. It's pretty much the equivalent of the Judge Desert Shaman days, which is really nasty in the early game, but in the mid game isn't horrible. Hand sizes don't build up quite as much as they did in those formats, especially during the days of Desert Shaman. Your hand got huge with things like, Delcatty and Magneton. But Kendle looks like he hits a couple of Ultra Balls, maybe a Rayquaza EX in there, a Catcher, an Eelektrik. So definitely some useful stuff. You're going to need to bend, and a level ball as well. So he definitely hits a hand that he can play just straight through. And he's going to level ball out for another Dynamo, I assume. He doesn't have the switch, I don't believe so. Grabbing out the Eelektrik probably isn't the play. Here, he's actually going to fail, which surprises me, makes me think that everything is maybe prized. I know he's gone through an Eelektrik or 2. I know he pulsed 1 away. He's going to be able to Dynamotor at least 1. But it's a rough situation for him. He doesn't have a way to retreat either. Kevin is going to random receiver. He's going to get an N off of that. And very carefully put that 1 card back onto the top of his deck. But right now, the thing that would help Kevin the most is just a Catcher. If he could bring up that Eelektrik, he could bring it down to 2 prizes. And then that would really, really seal the deal for him. He would take away his opponent's entire board basically in 1 shot. He would also just leave him with, a single energy on a single Pokemon. Kevin's board right now is pretty strong looking. I won't say it's like monstrous, but it's definitely good. He's got 5 energy on the field to 1, That's always going to be favorable when you have that much more energy, especially when your opponent is struggling to get out Electrics. He just failed the level ball. So I think Kevin could really close it with a Catcher right here. He's going to attach, and he's going to Bianca for 6. So good chance he hits it too, but it looks like that's a whiff. So the full art Bianca fails Kevin, unfortunately. But he's still in a very good position. Definitely has some really strong options. He's going to be able to probably... he puts the damage on the Rayquaza EX, which I think is interesting. Most of these decks don't run Eviolite, so I don't really see the point in putting it there. I would have put it on the Eelektrik. That way you would have basically in 2 more turns, you would have been able to knock out both the Rayquaza and the Eelektrik at the same time. Kevin might have a different idea about this, just wanting to get that damage on that EX. Gold Potion does mess with the math a little bit, so that's something to keep in mind as well. And Kendle looks like he's considering attaching the fire. He can burst for 1, but it's going to be short of a KO. It would put the other Darkrai at, he's got a Dynamotor, so he's going to Dynamotor to his Eelektrik. And he couldn't knock out either Darkrai EX with that. He does have the Catcher, but it's not really going to prove to be a fruitful play to use it. Here Kevin gets another Darkrai with another energy on the field, so that's 7 energy on the board right now. He's going to play the 2 energy switch to move the 2 energy to a healthy Darkrai. So definitely some fancy playing by him. I like this play. You know, your energy switches are really helpful in the early game and then in the mid game. This is really one of the points, is just moving them off of things that could get knocked out and onto things that definitely are more difficult to knock out. Kevin's done a really good job of keeping his energy on the board, and he's just going to take the KO against the Eelektrik here. You know, you don't want your opponent to have those Dynamotors. And now Michael just basically is going to scoop. He knows he's lost this game. He doesn't have access to his Eelektriks. So that was a good one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Speed Darkrai is really fast, I think, what we learned here. And I will be at you guys with games 2 and 3 of this series later. So make sure you rate, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will catch you guys later.